So welcome everybody to this latest video on 162 Maths, and in this video we're going over a quick topic test with a collection of some GCSE exam style questions on statistical measures 5 at foundation level. Now a copy of the questions for you to have attempt at before watching through this video is available for you to download by clicking on the link in the description, which I strongly recommend you do to see how much understanding you have on this topic. Now before we get started, it's worth mentioning that there is no indication about which if any of these questions are specific to a non-calculator or a calculator paper, so we'll just make sure that we do show full working out in our calculations. So let's have a look at question 1. So question 1 says, which is an example of continuous data? Is it eye colour, car type, height, or number of pens? Now the definition of continuous data is data that can be any number within a given range, and the any number is quite important. Now eye colour is most likely going to be qualitative data, so that's not going to be applicable. Car type, again, is going to be more words. Height is going to be the correct answer, and the number of pens, well, that can only be whole numbers, so the correct answer you need to circle is going to be height. Question 2 then says the number of paper clips in 10 new boxes were counted and listed below, and the question is asking us to calculate the range. Now to work out the range, that's going to be the highest number, which looking at the list of numbers is going to be 61, minus the lowest number, which in this case is going to be 45. So if I take away those two numbers, what do I get? Well, I'm going to get 16. Then moving on to B, it says write down the mode. So the mode is the number that appears the most, and that one is going to be 56. Then the next one, it says an 11th box was counted and contained 65 paper clips. What effect would this have on the mode? Tick the correct box. So if we go back to the list, if we then had 65, well, it's not going to have any impact on the mode because, again, 65 is unique and there's only one of those where we've still got 3 56s. So again, that's going to have absolutely no change at all. So that's the box we need to tick. For question 3, it says James records how many emails he gets a day over an 8-day period. And the question is asking us to work out the median. Now, whenever you are working out the median, you need to make sure that you are showing that you have ordered the data, especially if it's, and obviously if it's not been ordered already. So here we've got 4, and again it's worth just sticking a little tick next to it so you're not missing any out. 5, and then we've got 3 8s, 9, and a 42. So then looking at the median, well, that's going to be the middle number, which is between 8 and 8, which is 8. It then says calculate the mean, so what we need to do is add all those numbers up. So I've got 4 plus 42 plus 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 5. And if I add all of those numbers up, I should have 88. So it's going to be 88 divided by 8, which is 10. I can just write 10 just there. Then for question 3C, it says which of these two averages better represents the data, and explain your answer. So you probably want to say that the median is the better one. And the reason for that is as there are extreme values in the data set. And that is the 42. So if the numbers were more similar and had a small range, then that therefore would mean that the mean would be a better source of average. But as there are extreme values, either extremely low results or extremely high results that stand out, you probably want to go for the median as a better option. Moving on to question 4, it says the number of goals scored each game by the local football team were recorded in the table below. What is the most common number of goals they scored? So here we want to look at the sort of heading with the highest frequency, so that's going to be 8, and so that represents 3. Now try and always remember not writing down the highest frequency. You want to see what sort of that refers to, so what group that goes in. Then it says calculate the mean number of goals scored. So what we need to do here is we need to create our fx table. So here we've got fx value, and rather than working horizontally, we're now working vertically. So we need to create an fx column, which is multiplying these numbers together. So the number on the first row by the numbers in the second row. So that's going to be 0, 1, 8, 24, 0 and 5. So if I add up all of those numbers together, I'm going to get an answer of 38. This is the total. And then I want to add up the total frequency. So add up all of these numbers here. And I get a value of 19. So it's going to be 38 divided by 19, which gives me an answer of 2. Let's get rid of that one. So moving on to 4C, it says find the median number of goals scored. So what I need to do is now, there's a couple of ways in which you can do this. Well, here we've got 19. So the middle number therefore is going to be the 10th number. So then we want to work out which group would the 10th number fall in, and that's going to be 2. So the answer is going to be 2. Another way of working that out, now if you are going to do that method, make sure that you are showing that you've added the numbers up, divided by 2. So that's going to give you 19. And so you're looking for the 19th, oh no, sorry, there's 19 numbers, so wrong way around. So 19 divided by 2, which gives me 9.5. So we're looking for the 10th number, which is going to be a 2. Another way of doing it is to actually write down all the 19 numbers. So here I've got 5 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, and I've got 4 2s, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 0 4s and I've got 1 5. So you want to work out the middle number from this list, and again it should be a 2. Moving on to question 5, it says the table shows the salary in thousands of pounds of workers in a supermarket, and it says work out the modal class. So again, we're looking for the class with the greatest frequency, and that's going to be this second one. So that's going to be 20x to 25. Then moving on to question 5b, then says calculate the estimate for the mean salary of workers. So if I go back to the table, what I need to do first is add up the total number of workers that we've got. So if I add up all of those numbers, we should have an answer of 50. Then I want to create a midpoint column. And hopefully yours might be a little bit neater, but again, we're not going to get any marks for this. So we've got 15, 22.5, and then 27.5. Then we've got 35. And then we've got 45. So it's just don't always try and go into default pattern mode. Always make sure that you are checking to make sure you have got the correct midpoint. And then we need to create our fx value, which is basically where we multiply that second column by the midpoint values. And so here we've got 150, and then 18 times 22.5, which is 405. Then 14 times 27.5, which is 385. Then 7 times 35, which is 245. And then 45. And then we work out that total, and we should have an answer of 1230. So then here, I just write down the estimated mean is going to be 1230 divided by 50, which gives me an answer of 24.6. And because we're looking at thousands, it's therefore going to be 24,600. And there is my final answer.